Okay, I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. We're recording. So, hey, everyone, it's Amelia here, and I am here today with Kristin. And we actually tried to go live on Facebook and did a split screen. It wasn't really working out, so we've switched over to a different format here. So you might be, well, you will be watching the recording of this, but yeah, it's crazy times. It's crazy. So much of California is burning. My old stomping grounds of Santa Rosa, and so many people I know are displaced. And I just kind of woke up feeling sick and sniffly and kind of trying to manage my own energy as I feel so many people I love and care for are really discombobulated right now. So I just want to send my love and prayers out to all of you who are dealing with massive amounts of stress and shock and feeling like you don't know where you belong or where to go. And if that's you and you're watching this, please reach out to me and let me know. I'm here to help. I know what it's like to lose a house to fire, to feel like you don't know where you're going. So it takes time. Tonight, and the reason why I got on the live tonight with Kristin is because Kristin's a recent graduate. She's an Adept Graduate from my Mystery School. And if you don't know, right now registration is open for the next batch. It closes next week, October 23rd at midnight. And a lot of people have been asking me, like, what's a mystery school? What do we do? What can I expect to learn? So I just thought it's best to talk to someone who's done it. So Kristin just completed a year program with me. And the main topic I want to talk about is restructuring the field, and how to cope with spiritual emergencies, and when your life changes, when you hear the call and you're woken up to what it is you're here to do, or you're starting to become aware that there's so much more than this physical reality. You might not know how to manage that or where to go. You might seek books or other teachers, and Kristin's one of those people who synchronistically found me, and I'm gonna ask her to kind of share her story about why she chose to be in the school. So Kristin, maybe you can just jump in now and talk a little bit about what you were doing, before the school started, what made you connect to me and say yes to this year-long process. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here. And same feelings in my heart to everyone who's going through these fires and tough times. It's really crazy out there. So sending all my love to everyone. And I'd love to share my story. So about 7 years ago now, I was living in Holland, and I was just working overtime, like go kind of lifestyle. And I had a complete breakdown that the Westerners would call adrenal fatigue, where most of the systems in my body were just shutting down, and I went into complete exhaustion. And I think in Eastern view, people would call that a Kundalini awakening or a spiritual awakening. But at the time, all I knew is I couldn't get out of bed, and it was crazy. So I went to so many doctors, heard so many different explanations of what could be wrong, and just nothing was working to get me better. So I was bedridden for about 3 years, and started to work with a lot of alternative healers because it seemed like I was being guided. It was like my soul knew at a deep level that this wasn't just something medical, it was something deeper. So I began to connect to more people who are aligned spiritually. So going into alternative medicine is something that happened, I don't know, maybe a year or so after being bedridden. And that ultimately brought me out to San Francisco, where there's a lot of alternative healers out here. And what is so wild is that after years of doing so many different techniques to get my energy up, no one had ever talked about these many layers of energy that we have outside of our bodies. And I met Amelia on a call. A friend of mine had worked with her before, and she was offering, Amelia was offering these meditation calls, activation calls. And I jumped on one of those, and I just felt so held, and I felt the healing power of her through the phone call. And it was then that I learned that we are these fields of energy, and that everything out there is what's really informing everything within the body. So I mean, it was just, my soul felt like this was it. Like I knew that this is what I needed for the next stage in my healing. That's what made me get on a call and say, hey, I want to learn more about what it is that you're offering. And everything she said was just like putting all my puzzle pieces together that no one after 5-6 years had been able to tell me. And Amelia is a phenomenal seer and an incredibly gifted human that has so much experience. I can't stress that enough. I've worked with a lot of practitioners and seen a lot of people, and so I just felt really held. I felt really like I felt like, she's been around, she's seen a lot, and I felt that the way that she could see me, the way she could see my field, it was something I could really trust. So that's what made me say yes to just a 3-month program at the time, which then went to another 3 months, and then 6 months, which now is different.
Yeah, now this round I'm doing 6 months and 6 months. I found that, in the 3 months, you just get going. And that's a time when people want to give up a little bit, because it's when you start to see the things that aren't always that pretty, or, you see all the parts that need to be kind of worked on. And that's when we really need to go deeper and keep the consistency of the practice. So I decided, let's go 6 months and 6 months, and that way people really can restructure the field. So Kristin mentioned the field. She also mentioned spiritual awakenings. And just for those of you who are listening that might not totally understand what that is, we have an energetic field around our body. And a lot of us are waking up to these other ways of seeing, other realms of existence. And it can feel really disorienting, because in the Western world, we don't talk about that. We're not told that we have other layers of our body besides this physical body. So there's multiple layers moving outside of our field. And we're also not told how to hold and clean up and take care of what gets collected in our field. And so when Kristin came to me, her field was really torn up. She'd been through a war zone. She was having a really hard time just holding it together, like getting through her daily routines and holding your, some sort of daily practice down or whatever. And now I'm so happy to say that she has done such incredible work, and you're so solid now. And Kristin has been gifted with a lot of spiritual gifts. And I think before she came to me, it was kind of like, you can talk about it, but what I remember is like it was bombarding you, and you kind of felt like you were at effect from them. Like, oh, I'm feeling so much, and oh, I'm seeing this, and is it real? And what do I do about it? And, just kind of inundated with information without a way to work with it or where to go. And even though, you know, Kristin's a highly skilled practitioner, she's done a lot of shamanic work, and she's a Reiki master, and it's not that she's new to this arena, but yet she was kind of in a state of overwhelm. So one of the things we work on, the main key that we work on in the Mystery School is self-actualization and how to hold your energy and seal up your field so that you can be of service, greater service, without feeling that you're getting bombarded by information. So, you know, you hear about the wounded healer, or a lot of healers who get blown out because they're working with different energy all day. It's a kind of hygiene, a type of setting the field and knowing how to hold your energy separate from others and in this right relation. So that's a lot of the work that Kristin has now mastered. And if there's anything you want to add, Kristin, I'll let you jump in there.
One of the most important things for me at the time of finding you was that I didn't feel like I could connect to my intuition in the way of really knowing what I needed in any given moment. I knew I was super intuitive. I knew I had all these gifts. I knew I could feel like a lot and see things. But when it came down to knowing what choices were best for me, it was so hard to find that place because of all these other energies I was picking up. So I am just so proud to say and so grateful for going through this program that it really allowed for me to the hygiene of the field, to really see that there's so many thought forms of other people. And it's not even just influences of like the people that have grown up. It's like actual energy of maybe watching an advertisement, and that energy has now hung out for a while. So I feel now that I finally have been able to sink into myself and find my center and know my needs. And I have this really hilarious picture that I would so love to share because it so exemplifies what I'm talking about right now. When I met Amelia, I love music. I love rock and roll. My name on here is the Rock and Roll Mystic, I think. I have a show I can mention later. And I mean, that's like, rock and roll is like a chaotic kind of world, you know? And my room was just a disaster because I'm trying to take care of myself, but have a social life and get my essential needs taken care of. And I had no time to clean my room, or like no way to do it. And so I'm going to share my screen real quick so you can see this before and after pic. Oops, showed that too soon. Okay, so here we go. If you can see that. It is the before photo of, I don't know, maybe it was like a few months in, or like right at the beginning of starting the program. And then a few months later, look at that. Look at the difference, the color, the cleanliness, so different. So I think that is a really fun thing to share.
I love that.
It's good.
It's so funny, like that's just a byproduct of doing the Mystery School. I'm not looking at everybody's room, but Kristin's I happen to see. And I was like, all right, we're cleaning this up.
And I like cleaning now. Like my room is clean because I can understand the relation. It's like feng shui, you know? There is a relationship between every object and us. Everything is energy. And so I actually really, I was always the kid growing up that had the messiest room and was grounded because I couldn't go out until I cleaned my room. And now I'm like wiping down the counters before I go to bed because I love the feeling of waking up and having it clean. And it just gives me more power to have the rest of my space be really clean. So because of being able to get in touch with my needs, I could then really go deeper and find what my gifts were. And I knew I wanted to be a healer, but I didn't really understand how, because there was too much going on. So I'm really grateful for that, the anchoring and the constant support also within our group, of accountability, having this group in the council to continuously check in and just be there for everything, all the ups and downs, being able to celebrate and being able to be held when needed really helped so much to keep me going consistently. So if people are looking for that, that kind of community, that aspect is something that I found so valuable and I think is really needed on the planet right now to come together and build our communities back up in a healthy way. And Amelia has so much experience with that, like worldwide, working with different communities. So I think that's, if anyone's called to even that, just that aspect of it, I think taking this program would create a very solid human who could help a lot with community organization, which is super, super important right now.
Every time I unmute myself, we get feedback. So thank you for saying that, Kristin. It's really sweet. I'd love for you to share with people watching what sort of has changed in your life since doing it. Like, what have the external results been? What are you now doing for your work? Like, what's changed in your external life?
So I'm like super Aquarius. I'm very, like, I love all sorts of things, kind of always been, like a social butterfly, and my interests are really vast and wide. So, something that's really changed for me in the program is getting clear on what is beneficial for me and what is not beneficial for me. My boundaries weren't really clear. So, yeah, it was just kind of having too much going on. That was all intriguing and all exciting, but not really nurturing me in the deep way that I needed. So I feel that my life now is just the things that I allow into my life are much more of deep value to me and bring me actual deep joy that before was hard to recognize because it was more of like a kind of stimulation, like a constant stimulation and a constant on the go, which a lot of people that are working full time can relate to. It's, hectic being out there. So I feel that my relationships are stronger with people. My life is more manageable. I really do know more of what my needs are. And there's so much, I've always been a joyful person, but to really have weeded out the unnecessary things and bring more focus onto these important things, there's so much more joy in the simplicity. And that is just such an incredible feeling that in this crazy world, I'm grateful to have found. And so now what I'm doing is combining all of my loves, which I never, because like I said, I'm like Aquarius, super all over the place. Well, how do I do everything that I love? And I actually have found a way that Amelia has helped me with along the way. And I'm doing a bi-monthly video call with the Rock and Roll Mystic, and it's a party line Fridays at 5. So my next one will be tomorrow night, actually, at 5. You can join at freethewildheart.com. That's my website. And tomorrow we're going to have an herbalist come to talk about boosting immunity for the autumn sick season coming up. That's Emily Brasley. And then we'll end it with sound healing by Satya Ra. And I'll begin it with a little bit of a guided meditation. And it's basically to just let go of the whole week and be able to drop anything that doesn't need to be there and get ready for your weekend. So you can go have like a high vibey, amazing weekend. So that's going to be on Zoom, and yeah, sign up for my mailing list if you want to do that. And then I'm offering a 6-week program for men right now. And that's for men who are experiencing stress somehow in their lives, in the grind of living, and they feel a call to break out of this box, and they want to find something else. And so I'm here to be a guide to teach them all different tools that I've learned along the way of how to control, how to be more in control of the energy, you know, weed out what's important, what's not important, to feel more alive, to feel more high-spirited. And I'll also be making artwork, which is a love of mine. I'm an artist, so I'll be making intuitive artwork on behalf of my clients, because that goes deep into the psyche, that bypasses the brain, and goes somewhere deep inside. So let's say someone's afraid of speaking out loud, maybe a blue painting, looking at it is going to activate the throat chakra. It's going to actually do something energetically. So yeah, everything will be customized for whatever the client needs at the time. And yeah, freethewildheart.com is where you can find all of that. And I'm so excited. It's so fun for me.
I'm excited to join the party line tomorrow. And I haven't been sick in a few years. So having this little sniffle is like, what happened? The fall. It's cold.
Yeah, but that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. So
I know. I'll be there. Yeah, and for anyone listening, I hope you guys can join us for that. And if anyone has questions for me or for Kristin, either about the Mystery School or about her new work in the world, she's an amazing practitioner, and I'm so proud of her and see her stepping up and offering her gifts in such a beautiful way. She has a huge, compassionate heart, and it's really been super special and to my life and to the whole council. When you join the Mystery School, you become part of this inner council, and we're a circle formation. There is no hierarchy inside the group. I am there as the guide and the mentor, but each one of us has our own ability to tap into our inner knowing. And so as that awakens, we start sharing in this circle format. And Kristin's just been a huge asset to all of us in the council. So thank you, Kristin, and thanks everyone for watching. I'll put some links for the school and for Kristin's work in the comments, and please ask away. Again, if you are interested in the Mystery School, it closes registration on October 23rd at midnight. We start on the 28th, and it's a 6-month program. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much, Kristin. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.